The forest was dense and eerie, with ancient trees casting long shadows as the sun began its descent behind the twisted branches. Sarah, an adventurous soul with a penchant for exploration, found herself wandering deeper into the heart of the woods. The air was thick with an ominous stillness that sent shivers down her spine, but her curiosity propelled her forward. As the sun painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, Sarah stumbled upon an old hunting ground, marked by weathered signs warning of dangers that lurked within. Ignoring the ominous messages, she continued her journey, unaware of the unseen eyes watching her every move. The forest floor was uneven, and her steps became more cautious. The rustling leaves beneath her feet seemed to echo like distant whispers, creating an unsettling symphony in the encroaching darkness. The sun's fading light painted eerie patterns on the ground, making it difficult to distinguish between shadows and reality. As Sarah ventured deeper, a sudden snap echoed through the air. Panic surged within her, and she froze, straining her ears to identify the source of the sound. Silence enveloped the forest, and for a moment, it seemed like time itself had come to a standstill. With a hesitant breath, she continued, dismissing the incident as a mere trick of her imagination. But the forest had other plans. Unbeknownst to her, hidden beneath the fallen leaves and twigs, a rusty bear trap lay in wait, remnants of a bygone era of hunting. As she stepped forward, her foot landed on the concealed contraption. The trap snapped shut with a vicious force, ensnaring her ankle in a cold, unyielding grip. Sarah's scream pierced through the eerie silence, echoing through the desolate woods as her body crumpled to the ground. Pain surged through her leg, and terror gripped her heart as she realized the gravity of her situation. The sun, now a mere sliver on the horizon, cast elongated shadows that danced around her, mocking her predicament. Panic set in as the realization of her vulnerability sank in. In the distance, the haunting cries of nocturnal creatures began to fill the air, signaling the shift from twilight to night. The once beautiful forest transformed into a labyrinth of shadows and secrets, concealing horrors that thrived in the darkness. Sarah frantically struggled against the unforgiving jaws of the bear trap, her hands desperately clawing at the damp soil. The pain intensified with each futile attempt to free herself. Her cries for help echoed through the trees, but the forest remained indifferent, absorbing her pleas like a sinister accomplice to her plight. As the night deepened, Sarah's surroundings took on a surreal quality. Strange whispers seemed to emanate from the gnarled branches overhead, as if the very trees were conspiring against her. Unseen eyes watched her struggle, and an otherworldly chill settled in the air. Exhaustion and fear fused into a palpable haze, distorting her perception of reality. Shadows morphed into grotesque figures that seemed to dance around her, mocking her torment. The forest, once a realm of curiosity, now revealed its malevolent nature, trapping her in a nightmarish tableau. Hours passed like an eternity, and Sarah's strength waned. Her desperate cries had devolved into hoarse whispers, and her spirit teetered on the precipice of despair. The once vibrant adventurer now lay broken, ensnared in the clutches of a forest that seemed to revel in her suffering. The moon cast an ethereal glow on the desolate scene, revealing the twisted beauty of the ancient trees and the haunting shadows they cast. In the oppressive silence, a distant howl echoed through the night, sending shivers down Sarah's spine. As the moon ascended to its zenith, the forest held its breath. Sarah's world had become a nightmare, and the line between reality and the supernatural had blurred. The woman who had entered the woods with a spirit of adventure now lay trapped, a mere pawn in the malevolent game orchestrated by the ancient, enigmatic force that dwelled within the heart of the haunted forest. In the depths of Sarah's despair, a strange, ethereal mist began to rise from the forest floor. It twisted and twirled, taking on ghostly shapes that seemed to whisper malevolent secrets. The air became charged with an otherworldly energy as the mist enveloped her, adding a layer of surreal horror to her already dire predicament. In the dim light, the mist coalesced into shadowy figures that moved with an unnatural fluidity. Sarah's eyes widened with terror as she saw spectral forms drifting towards her. Whispers surrounded her, unintelligible yet filled with a dark intent that sent shivers down her spine. A ghastly apparition, clad in tattered garments, materialized before her. Its hollow eyes bored into her soul, and a spectral hand reached out, its fingers grazing her skin with an icy touch. Sarah recoiled, her heart pounding, as the ghostly figure seemed to feed on her fear. The forest had come alive with a malevolent energy, as if the very essence of the woods conspired against her. Unseen entities taunted and tormented her, whispering of ancient curses and forgotten sins that haunted the roots of the ancient trees. Each rustle of leaves and creak of branches became a spectral symphony that echoed her torment. As the night wore on, the temperature dropped, and an unnatural cold settled over the trapped woman. She felt an unseen presence, an invisible force tightening its grip on her soul. Shadows danced on the periphery of her vision, morphing into grotesque shapes that seemed to revel in her suffering. In the distance, the haunting cries of wolves joined the eerie chorus, their mournful howls resonating with the supernatural energy that permeated the forest. The moon, now fully unveiled, cast an otherworldly glow that turned the twisted trees into phantoms, their contorted branches reaching out like skeletal fingers. Sarah's strength continued to wane, and the pain in her trapped leg had become a relentless, throbbing agony. The spectral figures circled her like vultures, their unearthly whispers growing louder. Her mind teetered on the brink of madness as she grappled with the realization that the forest itself had become a malevolent entity, a sentient force that reveled in her suffering. Just when it seemed that all hope was lost, a distant glimmer of light flickered through the dense foliage. A lone figure emerged from the shadows, wielding a lantern that cut through the darkness. The mysterious stranger, shrouded in a tattered cloak, moved with an otherworldly grace, as if they were part of the very fabric of the haunted woods. The spectral figures recoiled from the light, dissipating like mist in the face of a gale. The stranger approached Sarah with an air of calm authority, their eyes gleaming with an ancient wisdom. With a wave of their hand, the bear trap released its grip on her leg, and Sarah crumpled to the forest floor, gasping for breath. As the mysterious savior helped her to her feet, Sarah glimpsed a symbol etched into the bark of a nearby tree, a symbol that seemed to pulse with an arcane power. The stranger guided her through the tangled underbrush, leading her out of the heart of the haunted forest. The forest, once a realm of nightmares, seemed to retreat in the presence of the enigmatic figure. The spectral mist receded, and the whispers faded into an eerie silence. As they reached the forest's edge, the stranger turned to Sarah, their eyes holding a depth of knowledge that transcended the mortal realm. "Leave this place, and never return," they whispered, their voice carrying a weight of ancient wisdom. With those cryptic words, the mysterious savior vanished into the shadows, leaving Sarah standing at the forest's edge, still trembling from the horrors she had endured. As she stumbled back into the world of the living, the haunted wood seemed to exhale a sigh of release, the malevolent energy dissipating like a dissipating fog. Sarah never spoke of the night she fell into the bear trap, but the haunted forest remained etched in her nightmares, a place where reality and the supernatural converged in a dance of terror. In the days that followed, Sarah struggled to convince herself that the nightmarish encounter in the haunted forest had truly happened. The memories haunted her like lingering shadows, and she found herself avoiding wooded areas and places shrouded in darkness. The mysterious symbol etched in the tree bark lingered in her mind, a constant reminder of the enigmatic savior who had appeared in her darkest hour. As time passed, Sarah's life returned to a semblance of normalcy. She pushed the haunting memories to the recesses of her mind, burying them beneath the routines of daily life. Yet, the forest's malevolent aura lingered, an indelible mark on her soul. One evening, as Sarah was browsing an old bookstore, she stumbled upon a dusty tome that seemed to call out to her. Its pages were filled with tales of ancient forests, mystical entities, and the thin veil between the living and the supernatural. Intrigued, she flipped through the aged pages and came across a familiar symbol, the same symbol that had been etched into the tree in the haunted forest. The book spoke of an ancient pact between the spirits of the woods and the caretakers who could communicate with them. The symbol was a key, a link between the mortal realm and the mystical forces that dwelled within the heart of certain forests. These caretakers were tasked with maintaining the delicate balance between the living and the supernatural, ensuring that the malevolent energies that lurked within the woods remained contained. As Sarah delved deeper into the ancient lore, she realized that the mysterious figure who had rescued her was one such caretaker. The haunted forest, she discovered, had been a place of power for centuries, its secrets guarded by those who understood the delicate dance between the natural and the supernatural. Haunted by a newfound curiosity, Sarah felt a strange pull towards the forest that had once imprisoned her. Armed with knowledge and an unspoken connection to the mystical realm, she returned to the woods, this time not as an unwitting trespasser, but as someone who held a mysterious key. As she stepped into the ancient grove, the air seemed to shift, acknowledging her presence. The same spectral mist that had tormented her before now swirled around her, but instead of whispers of malevolence, she heard a gentle hum, a harmonious melody that resonated with the heartbeat of the forest. The caretaker, the enigmatic figure she had encountered before, materialized before her. This time, their eyes conveyed not just ancient wisdom but a sense of recognition. Sarah felt a connection to the woods, a symbiotic bond that transcended the fear and pain of that fateful night. With a silent nod, the caretaker gestured towards the symbol on the tree, the key that bridged the gap between worlds. Sarah, now a keeper of the forest's secrets, embraced her role as a guardian. The haunted forest, once a realm of nightmares, transformed into a sanctuary of balance, where the supernatural and the natural coexisted in a delicate harmony. As the years passed, stories of the haunted forest became a distant memory, whispered about in hushed tones by locals. Sarah, now a guardian of the mystical realm, continued her duties with a quiet determination. The forest, once a place of terror, became a refuge for those who sought solace in the embrace of ancient magic. And so, the haunted forest, with its secrets and enigmatic caretakers, remained a chapter in the forgotten lore of the world, a story passed down through generations, a cautionary tale of the delicate dance between the living and the supernatural, and a testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of the unknown.
Like, subscribe, and click on notifications that will allow you to stay up to date with the news and not miss videos from the channel, where there will be many more horror stories.